Hi everybody, welcome to Live Blogger. In this tutorial series, we are designing this responsive homepage from scratch using HTML and CSS. And this is our progress as of now. We have designed the desktop version. Now in this video, I'll show you how to design the mobile version. So let's get started. Now this is how the mobile version is supposed to look. So here we can see we have a different layout, and the things we need to have extra in the mobile version are this logo over here and this menu button. So we're going to hide this logo over here in the desktop version, and we're going to create a division with this logo over here and also this menu button. And when we click on this menu button, we have this menu icons displayed over here, and we also have this close button. So we also need to add a close icon over here before these menu items. So let's make the changes in our HTML. So here we have this aside, and in that we have this menu icons division, and in that we have all these anchor tags. So we also need to have a close button. So here in this menu icons division, I'll just create a new division, and I'll just give it a class of close button, and in that we will have the close image. So I'll just type img, and in the src I'll just type images / and I have named it close icon.svg. And now we can see we have this close icon over here. Now let's also add the logo and this menu button over here in the mobile version. So for that, I'll just create a new division. So here let's go outside this aside, and we'll just create a division with a class of mobile menu, and in that we need to have the logo. So I'll just create a division with a class of logo, and I'll just type w dot, and we also need to have the menu button. So for that, I'll just create an img tag, and in the src I'll just type images / menu icon.svg. So these are all the images that I have stored in this images folder over here. You can find the link of these images in the description of this video. Right now let's go back to our website, and here we can see we have the logo and the close icon. Now we don't want to display this in our desktop version, so we have to hide the mobile menu and also this close icon in the desktop version. So let's go back to our style.css file, and let's target the mobile menu. So I'll just type mobile menu, and I'll just type display of none, and we'll also target the close button. So the close button is inside this menu icons division, and in that we have the close button division. So let's target that. So here I'll just type aside.sidebar menu icons close button, and now we can see that the close button and the mobile menu are not displayed over here in the desktop version. Right now let's add a media query where if the width of the screen is lesser than 700 pixels, then whatever styles we have for the mobile version should be added. So I'll just type @media, and we'll set the max width to 700 pixels. And first of all, we will hide this logo and this background image over here on the left. So let's target them. We have a class called bgleft for the left background image, and for the logo we have a class called logo. It is inside the container division, so I'll just type container logo, and we'll set the display to none. Right now let's style the mobile menu. So I'll just type mobile menu over here, and we will set the display to flex, and we'll set the position to fixed, and we will set it to the top. So I'll just type top 0, and now here you can see we have this logo at the top. We'll just add a background color and see what is the width of the mobile menu. So right now the mobile menu doesn't have 100% of width. Now for 100% width we have to type left 0 and right 0, and now we can see the mobile menu has 100% of width. Right now let's remove this background color. Now let's add a background color of linear gradient. So I'll just type background, and I'll set it to linear gradient, and first of all we will have 180 degrees. So the colors will start from the top to the bottom. Right now for the first color I'll just type RGB, and I'll just type 14, 12 and 46, and we'll set it at 0%. And then the next color I have is RGB 25, 25, 90, and I'll have this color till 45%. And then the last color I have is RGBA. We also need to have opacity over here. So I'll just type 0, 0, 0, and the opacity will be 0. Now you can go ahead and experiment with different colors over here and different percentage values, but this is the color that I have for my design. And let's also add a padding of 16 pixels, and we'll also add a z index of 100 so that the mobile menu will be above all the other elements. Right now let's style the logo. So let's type mobile menu logo, and we'll set the font size to 30 pixels, and we'll set the color of the text to white, and we'll set the font weight to 900. Right now we want this logo and this menu icon to be on the extreme left and on the extreme right. Now since we have added the display of flex over here in the mobile menu, we can just add a property called justify content space between. And now we can see we have this logo over here on the left and the menu icon is on the right. Right now we have to scroll horizontally for accessing both these elements. But once we start designing the other elements, everything will be alright. So first of all, let's set the width of the container. So if we scroll up, we can see that we have set a width for this container over here, and we have set it to 80%. Now let's set the width of the container to 100% in the mobile version. So here I'll just type container, and we'll set the width to 100%. And we'll also add a padding of 0 for top and bottom. And for left and right, we will have a padding of 30 pixels. Alright, now the next thing we need to do is we need to have this heading and this image over here, one below the other. So we'll set the flex direction of this hero container to column. So in our HTML, we can see we have created this division with the class of hero container, and in that we have the left and the right divisions. So we will set the flex direction to column so that everything will be one below the other. So let's type container hero container, and we'll set the flex direction to column. We'll also set the text align to center. Now we want to change the order of the elements being displayed over here. So we want to set the image at the top and all this text below the image. So for that we can use a property called order in flex. So let's type container right, and we'll set the order to -1, and now we can see that the image is at the top. Alright, now let's set the width of the right division to 100%. So I'll just type width 100%, and we also need to set the width of the hero image division. So in our HTML, we can see in the right division we have the hero image, and in that we have the image. So let's type container hero image, and we will set the width to 100%. And I think we also need to add a property called box sizing to border box so that all the width and the height are set properly. So you just have to add this line of code over here. So I'll just go over here to the container, and here I'll just type box sizing, and we'll set it to border box. So whenever you have any issues with the width and height of the elements in HTML, you can add this line of code box sizing border box, and now it will calculate the width and the height, including the padding and the margin and all of those things. Right now let's go back to this hero image over here, and let's remove the rotation. So I'll just type transform and rotate Z, and we'll set it to 0 degrees. Now we'll also set the height and the width of the img tag inside the hero image division. So let's type container hero image img, and we'll set the width and the height to 100% of the parent. Alright, now let's set a position of absolute to this hero image, and we will set it to the extreme left. So let's type position absolute, and we'll set the left position to 0 and the top position to 0. Now we'll just remove this sidebar from here for now. So I'll just type aside sidebar, and I'll just set it to display none. We'll style it later. Now the next thing we will do is we will have the same height for this part and this part. So both the left and the right parts should have the same height. For that we can use a property called flex. So here for the right division, I'll just type flex of 1. We will do the same for the left division as well. So I'll just type container left, and I'll just type flex of 1. Now both the left and the right divisions have the same height. Now let's also set a height for this hero image. So I'll just type height, and we'll just set it to 40 viewport height. And now we can see that the image is stretched. So for that we can use a property called object fit to cover. So here in the img tag, I'll just type object fit, and we'll set it to cover. And now we need to display the top portion of our image. So for that we can just type object position, and we'll set it to top, and everything looks alright for the image. Alright, now let's style this background shape over here. So if you go back to the HTML, we can see we have this division with the class of image bg. So let's target that. Here I'll just type container hero image image bg. And first of all, let's set the transform rotate to 0. So I'll just type rotate z and we'll set it to 0 degrees. And if you go to our design, we can see that we have this background shape over here, and it has a higher height than the actual image, and it also has lesser width. So let's add some height and width to this image bg. So we'll set the width to 90%. Now for the height, we will set a height of 10 pixels more than this image right here. Now for this image, we have set a height of 40 viewport height. So here we will use a calc function. So I'll just type height calc and 40 viewport height plus 10 pixels. And now we can see that we have a height of 10 more pixels than this image. And we also need to center it. So I'll just type left and 50%. And now it starts from the 50% mark. So we also have to move it 50% of the element to the left. So here in the transform, I'll just type translate x and I will set it to negative 50%. Now it is in the center. Alright, now let's style the h1. So I'll just type container, hero container h1, and we'll set the font size to 32 pixels, and we will set a margin top of 30 pixels. Now let's style the social media icons. So here I'll just type container social, and we'll set the position back to static. Now we have set the position to absolute in the desktop version, but here we will set it back to static because we don't need to position it relative to any other element in the mobile version. So here I'll just give a margin top and I'll just set it to 70 pixels, and that looks alright. And I think that's it with the mobile version. Now let's style the aside or the sidebar. So let's remove the display none from here and let's add some styling over here. So we'll just set the width to 60 pixels and we'll justify content to the center, and we'll also add a box shadow. So I'll just type box shadow and we'll set the values to negative 24 pixels, 0, 16 pixels, negative 12 pixels, RGBA 0, 0, 0 and 0.4. And let's also set the z index to some higher value so that it is above all the other elements. So I'll just type z index and we'll just set it to 200. And let's also style the close button. So here in the HTML we have added the close button in the sidebar. So here we can see we have this division with the class of close btn. So let's target that. So here I'll just type aside dot sidebar menu icons close btn, and we had set the display to none in our desktop version over here. So here we can see for the close button we had set the display to none. So let's go back over here and we will set the display back to block in the mobile version, and now we can see the close button is right here. Now let's position it absolute, and let's set the top position to 8 pixels, and we'll text align it to the center, and we also need to have the left position to 0 and the right position to 0 for it to work. So now we can see that it is in the center, and I think we need to increase the top position over here. So let's set it to 24 pixels, and now it looks alright. Right, now the last thing we need to do is we need to add the functionality of this sidebar. So when you click on the menu button, this sidebar should appear from the right. So if you go back to a design, we can see when we click on this menu button, the sidebar is being displayed over here, and when we click on this close button, it goes back. So we have to add this functionality. So let's go back over here and we will add a class called active to this sidebar, and when we have the class active, we will display the sidebar. So here for this sidebar, I'll just type right, and I'll just set the right position to negative 100%, and I'll also add a transition of all to 500 milliseconds so that we have smooth animation. Now let's type aside.sidebar.active. Now these styles will be added when we add the active class to the sidebar. So here I'll just type right 0. So when we have the class active, the right position of the sidebar will be 0. So it will be displayed. So let's go back to our HTML and let's add the active class over here to the sidebar. So I'll just type active over here. And now we can see that the sidebar is being displayed. And when we remove the active class, the sidebar is hidden. Right, now we will add and remove this class using JavaScript. So let's go back to our file browser and let's create a new file. So I'll just click on new file and we'll just name it main.js. Now in my JavaScript file, I need to reference 3 elements. The first one is the sidebar itself because we need to add the active class. The next one is the close button, and the next one is the mobile menu. So this menu icon over here. So here for this img tag, I'll also add a class and we'll just name it menu btn. Right now let's reference these elements in our JavaScript. So let's go back over here to main.js. Before that, let's add the JavaScript link over here. So here before the body ends, I'll just type script src, and here I'll just type main.js. Right now let's go back to our main.js file and we'll create some constants. So I'll just type const sidebar, and we'll just type document.querySelector, and here I'll just type aside.sidebar. So this is how you reference elements in JavaScript. Now let's reference the menu button. So I'll just type const menu btn equals document.querySelector, and here I'll just type menu btn. And the last thing we need to reference is the close button. So I'll just type const close btn equals document.querySelector close btn. Now we need to add event listeners to the menu button and the close button. So I'll just type menu btn.add event listener, and we will listen for the click event. So I'll just type click, and here we'll just create an arrow function. Now when we click on this menu button, we need to add the active class to the sidebar. So I'll just type sidebar.classList.add, and here I'll just type active. Now let me just copy this and paste it down for the close button, and here instead of menu button I'll just type close btn, and here instead of add I'll just type remove. Right now let's see whether our menu button works. So let's click on this menu button, and we can see that the sidebar is being displayed. Let's click on this close button, and it is hidden. So everything works alright. Alright, so that's it for this video. We have created a responsive home page using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I will leave the link of the source code in the description of this video, and in the next video I'll show you how to add this design to your Blogger website. So that's it for this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below, and if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.